Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Frugal from ImpossiblyFrugal.com, and today I'm here to tell you about the 10 reasons my husband and I are in debt, and you probably are too. All right, so number one of the top 10 reasons we're in debt, and you probably are too, is trying to keep up with appearances. Now, this is definitely something that impacts all of our lives. Everyone nowadays has social media and is connected with friends and family that are constantly posting all aspects of their life, including when they buy that new purse or that new house or that car. And it can definitely influence our buying behavior. We see those things and we want it. We want a new car or a new house, and so sometimes we resort to debt in order to get that. And so it just kind of perpetuates this negative cycle. Our friends and family are always going to be posting things like that. And so we just kind of have to understand that that's not for us at this time. We can't afford that, and know what your priorities are so that you're not just trying to keep up with appearances just because. Number two is thinking you don't make enough money and have to use debt to buy things. I 100% agree with the saying, if you make more money, you just spend more money. That's exactly what happened to me. My husband and I were saying for years that we didn't make enough money. We needed to find new jobs or get promotions where we would be paid more. And lucky me, I got a promotion and I made significantly more money. And what we ended up doing was going out and buying 2 brand new cars. And so now we're living paycheck to paycheck again because we have these 2 car payments on top of all of our other debt payments that we already had prior to that. And so it's really just about living within your means, understanding that just because you make more money now doesn't mean you need to go out and spend more money and just buy more things that you've always wanted. While it's nice to get things that you've always wanted, it may not necessarily be something that you need. And, saving that money and paying down other debt that you have could help you reach that goal eventually in the future of being able to get that new car, that new thing that you want. So that's definitely something that perpetuates debt. Number 3 is being unwilling to make sacrifices. This is definitely my husband and I to a T. We are always looking over our finances and trying to figure out where we can cut costs. And, I'll say, oh, let's cut out HBO. We don't really need that. And he'll say, well, no, I need it. I have to watch my Game of Thrones. And then he'll say, well, we'll just cut out Hulu or something. And I'm like, no, I have to watch The Handmaid's Tale. And so it's just kind of back and forth. Neither of us want to make sacrifices on the things that we go over that can reduce our costs and our expenses. But, something's got to give if you want to save money and get out of debt. So that is definitely something that impacts us. Number 4 is just having no hope. I can definitely say we felt hopeless plenty of times. We didn't learn in school growing up how to manage our finances and what's a good value and that you should stay away from credit cards and things like that. So, you end up feeling hopeless and you don't really know what to do and feel like, what's the point of me trying to save money and cutting out these little things everywhere because I'm never going to be able to get out of debt. But really, just knowing where to start and having that information and those tips and tricks and resources can help in situations where you're feeling hopeless and you need a little boost. Number 5 is that you're addicted to buying stuff. I tell my husband all the time that he is addicted to buying stuff, and we've had struggles in the past where he's always wanted the newest anything, the newest technology that's out there, the newest game, and that was something that was just really important to him. He had just had to have it, and for so many years that's what we were doing. We were buying it because it made him happy. It was something that he needed, for lack of a better term, or he thought he needed. And over time, we just had to say enough's enough and refocus on what our goals were and what we wanted for our future. But that is something that a lot of people struggle with. They're addicted to buying certain things, and it really can be a true addiction. Number 6, not making getting out of debt a priority. So obviously we've gotten to this big hole of having a ton of debt by not making debt a priority for years and years and years. And you know, a lot of us live in the moment or live in the day. And in that moment or in that day, we really want that Starbucks coffee, or we really want those cute new shoes, or that newest technology. And so, you know, that's our priority at the time. We don't make saving money or getting out of debt our priority. And as a result, we just stay in debt. So that's number 6 on the list. Number 7 is not being on the same page as your spouse. So there are a lot of couples and relationships where one spouse is the spender and one spouse is the saver. And, you know, obviously that can cause a lot of conflict in that relationship or in that marriage. But also with debt, because then you're just continuously accumulating debt. No matter how much one person wants to save, if the other person's always constantly spending, you know, it's gonna equate each other out. You're just gonna be at a standstill and not get anywhere. And I can definitely say my husband and I were in this situation for a while. I was always someone who didn't want to spend money on anything. You know, I would wear the same worn out shoes forever before I would want to go and buy a new pair of shoes, because I just didn't want to spend the money on it. I wanted to save our money, whereas my husband would want to go out and get a new pair of shoes, or if he had a little stain on his shirt, he would want to get rid of the shirt and buy a new shirt. Because that was just us not being on the same page, us having different priorities. And again, that just leads to that same standstill, you know, not being on the same page, not understanding each other and what your goals are. Number 8 is not creating and sticking to a budget. So for years and years and years, my husband and I did not have a budget at all. We would go by the method of, oh, we get paid on Friday, this is how much is in our account, and we just need to be careful not to spend over that amount throughout the week until we get paid again the following week. And maybe that works for a little while, but eventually we got to the point where we were getting overdraft fees because we forgot of a certain bill that was supposed to be coming out of our account, or we decided we really wanted something and bought it, and then we're like, oh wait, we shouldn't have bought that because we need to make sure we're saving that for bills or for other payments or commitments that we have. And it got really hard, and at a certain point we said, okay, maybe we need to actually sit down and budget our money, see what our monthly expenses are and how much money we actually have left over after that to spend on the things that we want or things that will make our life better. And you know, the only way to do that is to sit down and create that budget with your spouse or your significant other, or if it's just you, kind of sitting down and looking at what you're spending every month, where that's coming from, and sticking to a budget, sticking to an amount that you're not going to spend over each week or each month, however you budget your money. Number 9 is continuously using credit cards. So my husband and I have definitely been in the cycle where we pay off a credit card and we're like, woohoo, we paid it off. And then we go out, we see something that we really like and we really want, and we're like, oh, we paid off that credit card, so we can use it to buy this item and we'll just pay it off right after, just like we did before. And of course, that is how you build and build and build upon your debt. And at a certain point, it just gets too much and it gets overwhelming. And so, you know, we would pay off a bunch and then we would end up just spending that same amount. And so I know it's really hard to like cut up your credit cards, because you're like, well, what if there's an emergency and something happens and I really need that credit card? You know, that's an argument that people have. And so what we did is we took the credit cards out of our wallet and left it at home. So that way, if a true emergency or something were to arise, we could just get it from our house, but we're not carrying it out in our wallet with us, so that if we're out somewhere, we see something we really want and are tempted to buy it, we can't, because we don't have that card on us. So we can't purchase that, but it's home, locked away in a drawer somewhere in case of an emergency if we really do need it. And so number 10 is just not knowing where to start. So this is a big problem for many people, including my husband and I. We didn't really know where to start and what to do to get out of debt. As I've said many times before, we weren't taught this growing up, how to manage our money, how to, be better spenders and be more knowledgeable buyers and consumers, and just not knowing where to start. So we've had to do a lot of research on our end, a lot of trial and error to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And that's part of why we created this blog, is to help other people like us that are trying to get out of debt understand the reasons why they're in debt and how to kind of get over and work through that, so they can be successful in their journey as well. And so if you're like us and you want to learn what you need to do to get started, the tips and tricks that are going to help you save money, get out of debt, and be able to live a more frugal lifestyle, then subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow us on social media. We have Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and also Pinterest, where we pin a lot of tips and tricks that we've learned as well. And I'll have all of those links in the show notes below. But I hope you have a better understanding now of what the 10 reasons are that we're in debt and why a lot of other Americans are as well. And just knowing and understanding those reasons will help get you on the right path to living a more frugal lifestyle. Thank you.